All right, welcome back to DFC. Surprisingly late in the season, but actually a really busy couple weeks we're going to cover.
Absolutely, a lot going on. Starting with women's world trick record, Erica Lang, amazing, 10,850. It's kind of gives me personal tingles because actually her parents met working at my parents' ski school way back in the 80s. Erica's mom was, she was the cook at Horton Lake Ski School in like 1986 or then. So I've known these people forever and really stoked for Erica. She's amazing. I kind of thought she'd gone away and was like full-time wakeboarding for a while, but apparently she's back and on top, and that whole field of elite women's trickers are just on fire right now.
Yeah, if there's one record that maybe not hasn't been repeatedly broken, but has eclipsed its former record or former records in the shortest amount of time, it's definitely women's trick. You don't have to go back more than 10 years, and women were like looking to break 9,000. So to see how quick they've come, it's crazy. It's fun to watch. I actually was able to catch that. Multiple people had posted that record, so I was able to watch it last night, and it's absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah, for sure. Amazing. And I'm kind of a traditionalist. I struggle with where tricks have gone being so flip heavy, but you can't really diminish the talent and dedication and the achievement. It's amazing.
No, actually, and I'm probably would be considered a bit of a purist, also having grown up in 3-event. But to me, the part I have trouble with is that there still is a flip limit. To me, I'm baffled by. To me, that's like digging in your heels and trying to hold on to the past and trying to hold on to what things were. Personally, I think it's ridiculous that there's still a flip limit, because that's just it's transparent. All that is just trying to keep tricks looking like it looked 25 years ago, which. If they need to restructure the point or the value system to make the flip tricks not worth as much, that's fine. But anyway, that aside, blah 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 blah. Great, unbelievable tricking. It's if you get a chance, you don't have to search very far through social media, through any of the water ski links, to find that record.
Well, no, we'll run it right here. It's on that website that we that thing I do.
Yeah,
it's on that website.
Yeah.
Okay. And then moving on just a little bit before we get to the big news, the big subject. There was an event at Bota site in Spain beginning of the month, and just want to say 36% of the skiers there had personal bests. Nothing unusual about that. No reason to really bring that up again. I think we've gone through that enough.
It is awfully high. But again, if there's ever a reason for me to find myself there skiing, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna ski and then come up with my take on things. But yeah, it's right now it is the place to be. It'd be interesting to go back to early to mid 90s when you couldn't sort of park your truck at Trophy Lakes in Charleston without breaking a world record. It'd be interesting to see like what kind of percents or PB percents were in place at those events.
And Trophy, I don't know.
Yeah, every sites go through these phases where they are the veritable hotspot. Albeit I know these numbers are super elevated and it's just so hard to make from my perspective make any sort of definitive commentary on it unless I go and again, if I get the chance, I certainly will, because it's skiing very well at the moment.
Yeah, and look, it would be great to find out that there really wasn't anything suspicious. I'm not against these people. I just feel like the water ski world needs to be aware of.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So Queen's Cup is a unique event, which I really applaud Jeff Gilbert for putting it on. It's not maybe a format that you or I would show a lot of interest in, but it's different. That's what I love about it.
You know what though? Just to interject, is the format is actually really, really similar to your ball of spray event. My understanding.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, where we're like, regardless of speed, all that matters is buoy count at line length. Not to say you can ski any speed you want, but you ski the speed within your age category or designed for your age category.
Right, but I guess what my point is Jeff's gone outside of the regular Class C, Class L format and been creative, right? That's awesome. Kind of what I'm trying to promote with my tournament. I love my format personally, but around the country, people may think, no, that's too wacky. But just going outside the lines and doing something unique and fun, that's what I really want to promote.
Yeah, and I think like putting the competition back into competition. That's why the ball of spray event is so fun, because it doesn't matter whether it's me or whether it's Will Asher or whether it's Mark Turner. It's like we can all compete against each other on a level playing field, and again putting the competition back in these events. I think it's cool. And he's also giving like a unique sector of the competitive water ski community, like the plus 30 female. Some of these girls are ex-pros. Some of these girls have never skied professionally or maybe never even aspired to, but now all of a sudden they have this arena where they can compete against one another on in a venue that's uniquely their own. I think it's really cool. Gilbert's always done some cool stuff. He's a good dude and a hard worker for the sport.
Right. Yeah, no, and I want to reiterate what you just said. It's fantastic for them. You think about all these segments of skiing where these groups of skiers have never really experienced a high pressure head to head just within that group, except for maybe at nationals. So yeah, it's spectacular. Yeah. So first place went to Chelsea Mills, and then second, good friend of yours, I believe, Lori Covington, who comes from a bit of water ski royalty, being Freddie Krueger's sister. Mm-hmm. And then third was Joy Kelly, is that right?
Yep. Yeah.
Joy Kelly, who's, I can't even begin, I'd slaughtered if I tried to reiterate her resume. Yeah. But she's been around the national level for
yeah, and then just to add to the finals, or to the final results, the scores were nothing. These may be 30 plus, 40 plus, in some cases 50 plus, but the scores were absolutely, they would have stood up in a lot of different arenas. Final score in the final head-to-head, it was Chelsea versus Lori, and I think Lori went first. She ran 3 at 38 in the final head-to-head, and Chelsea ran 3.5. So the scores were absolutely nothing to take lightly.
No. All right, so that brings us to really the big news. The Collegiate Nationals, sponsored by Conley. Thank you, Conley, for what you do. Trent, you were there. I have some notes, but take it away, man. Tell us about it.
We'll get into all the all the nuances, but incredible event. It's always the same deal, right? We talked about, we kind of gave a little bit of foreshadowing earlier this summer about how Alabama was working hard to really pad their stats, get their, to develop their team, and for the first time really maybe come with a team that actually wasn't just battling for second place. Sean Hunter, Anagay, as some of their new recruits, Dylan Melnar. They had all these, Taylor Grathwell. They had all this team of world champions, world junior champions, junior master champions, and then for them to come in and they're looking to take down or compete with the two perennial powerhouses, obviously one being University of Monroe and the other University of Louisiana. So it was like it always does, it came down to the final.
You just can't say University of Louisiana Monroe, can you?
Yes, the University of Louisiana at Monroe. Yes, sorry.
Thank you. ULM.
Yeah, so it was incredible, absolutely incredible. And again, we'll get into it, but like it always does, it came down to the last skier of the day. So where to start? Let's start with the men's slalom. It was slalom in general was a tale of freshmen, which is incredible. So Sean Hunter, wisely in hindsight, put himself in the first rotation. There's 5 rotations. It's not seeded. The teams pick where they want each of their 5 athletes to go. So Alabama decided to put Sean Hunter out very first, and he put up a score that lasted the entire competition, which unfortunately spanned about 36 hours due to some NCWSA regulations that we're not going to get into right now. That really limits the way you're allowed to run these, and really limits the way you're allowed to run these events, and it really, in some case, hinders the competition, but we're not going to get into that. So men's slalom ended up wrapping up about 30 some odd hours later, and that score held for that entire 30 hours. So he ran 3 at 39. Second place was from your University of Louisiana at Monroe, Alex King. This kid skied lights out. He's coming back from an injury. He completely reconfigured his binding setup, went to a kicker, got on a brand new ski. I was up there in the spring and was fortunate enough to be able to help him set it up. Fortunate for me, I was lucky to just somehow be able to, lay my name to it a little bit. This kid is no joke. He skied, a couple of 39, I think 1.5 at 39, maybe 2 at 39, and just really changed, early on changed the tide for Monroe. So men's slalom was an incredible event to watch. I believe Taylor Garcia was third, also from Monroe. So they really got things going with men's slalom.
Right, which is amazing. He's not really known for slalom, but clearly maybe he should be.
Yeah, you know what though? Actually, he has run 39 in a record before. Taylor, getting to to spend the week with him, that kid, his intensity is awe-inspiring, and his not just to use a bunch of words that they always get tagged to these kids, but his diligence, his work ethic. I mean that kid is impressive from one end of the spectrum to the other, on the water and off. So yeah, kid can slalom, obviously, in addition to his jumping.
Agreed. All right, so that brings us to women's slalom. We were talking about national records off air a minute ago, and I'm completely confused.
Okay, so the national
but women's slalom was
so the national record is Manon Costard broke it 2 years ago, 3 at 39. Shani Oliver from University of Louisiana at Monroe, she tied it at regionals 2 weeks before the nationals, and then women's slalom, that was probably the event of the weekend in terms of performances. So another freshman took the win, Jamie Bull from the University of Louisiana. She ran 2.5 at 39 in some pretty stout wins, so within half a buoy of the record. Second place, Allie Nicholson, Florida Southern. She was 2 at 39. There's another girl that's just, she's had some ups and downs in terms of performances or consistency, but she's on another upswing again. I mean, she looked incredible. And then third place was another Monroe athlete, Shani Oliver, who tied the collegiate record a couple weeks earlier. So again, you can see how this ULM keeps stacking up, and it's kind of the way it was going until, like Lafayette does, there's University of Louisiana, man, there's something about those guys. I was an athlete there and graduated from there, and there's something undefinable but undeniable about their spirit. There's something about always getting second and always being just so close, and obviously capturing a few titles, but there's something about their spirit never wavers. Going into the third day, it was close, but it wasn't that close, and all of a sudden, women's trick, then move into the final event, men's jump, and all of a sudden they're 40 points behind, which is nothing.
Nothing, right?
But like it does with Monroe, came down to the last jumper of the weekend, Taylor Garcia. And Taylor didn't need to win to make sure Monroe won, but he needed to be in the top 3. And while given who Taylor Garcia is, you could say that might have been a bit of a yawn. But 2 weeks earlier, at a different site in Texas at the regionals, Taylor didn't win. Taylor got second at the regionals, so it wasn't like it was anywhere close to a foregone conclusion. But yeah, they did it. They captured their 29th title, and as Taylor captured his jump title, that Monroe captured their 29th national title.
29 out of 40.
It's remarkable.
The whole level of skiing is just amazing. It's so I went to ULM. It was NLU back then, which is explaining why I'm such a fanboy and doing this bit. But I think about what level of skier I was back then in the era, and fast forward today. You have to up some of the performances because equipment's better and everything. But I couldn't have made the team. I don't think so. I wasn't that good a skier. I mean, the level of college skiing is astounding.
It's crazy. Someone should make a movie about it.
Somebody should make a documentary.
Coming soon. Coming soon.
Coming soon. I thought that was a secret.
Details to follow.
Okay. All right. So, amazing. And the whole thing about collegiate skiing, and people have argued about if it is the saving grace of water skiing, or if it's the children are our future. But it is amazing when you get down to the D2 level and you look at all these people that collegiate skiing brings into the sport of water skiing. And I fully support collegiate as much as I can. I wish I was actually more involved. I think it's a great thing.
Me too. And I did. I was taking a nice little. I did. I was taking a nice little NCWSA dig, but 100%. It is the most fascinating facet of our sport at the moment. It's the most spirited, and I'm not just talking about school chants and face paint. The most hard fought battles, and you have to be careful not to be like. D1, okay, this is where they come to ski, and then D2, this is where they come to party. And the D2 titles are hard fought. I mean, we watch, Nathan Kelm from Texas State last year. And I'm just going to back up to the previous year's nationals. He took his first jump on the chin, and cleared the cobwebs and went out and won the event. And then this year to watch him in his competing as a senior, all he wanted was another D2 national jump title, and to watch him, I've seen him train his butt off over the last 8 weeks, and to watch him go out there and do it, and to see him come in and undeniably have tears in his eyes. I'm like, so it's hard fought battles on Division I and Division II, which are held in conjunction with one another, in case no one's ever watched a collegiate nationals before. But it's unbelievable. It's from start to finish. There's more school spirit in D1 than most people would imagine, and there's more hard-fought battles in D2, contrarily, than most people would imagine. So it's I don't know whether it's the future of the sport, but it's absolutely one of the most important facets in my mind, for sure. Right.
The UCLA team trains 3 lakes that way from my house, and I hear that boat running midweek. I don't, I'm not open. It's not like I'm over there riding the boat for them, which I'd be willing to. You guys call me, but they're out there skiing constantly. I mean, it's not, it's an hour and a half drive for them to come ski out here in Baco, and they're, it's not like they're ever going to be a D1 team, but they're out there pounding at it. And you see, for me, as somebody who's always concerned about the competitive side of the sport, what gets me fired up is I see people that learn to ski collegiate, and by the end of their collegiate years, they're running a lot of passes, and it's not that they're just going over the jump only in tournaments. I mean, they're really trying to hone their craft, and they love the sport.
For sure, and I mean, and it is. So it's
good stuff.
It's like I mentioned this in a previous episode, but I mean, I never heard of Cale Burdick until he beat me at my final collegiate nationals. So I mean, it's a lot of if I just look at Regina Jaquist and Thomas DeGasperi, Will Asher, Tom Asher, Ryan Dodd, Freddie, and then yourself, Arnclough, Lori Covington Kruger, Bailey Austin. Like, it's just hard to find someone relevant in our industry that didn't somehow come through that system or wasn't somehow profoundly affected by collegiate water skiing. So in that regard, congratulations to Jeff Sergey and to the San Marcos River Ranch, because this was the most exciting collegiate event I've ever watched.
Awesome. All right, well, it's almost the end of October. Besides Halloween coming up, what do you got?
So we're moving into, there's just a few records left around the country. Some of them, we'll keep an eye out. There could be a couple lofty scores coming out. And then from there, we're going to go in the Pan Am Championships, which has juniors, under 21s, elite open, seniors. So I mean, that's going to cover the entire spectrum of competitive water skiers in these couple North, South, Central America. And then from there, there's the Senior Worlds that are going to be the end of November. So we're going to cover both of those, and then industry rumblings. So we'll be back at you in a week.
Good stuff. All right. Thank you, folks. Thank you, Trent.
Got it. Bye, all.